the maximum amount of windows.
Another way of mirroring voice is to match the pattern or rhythm of the customer's speech. Again, this is a method top salespeople use to connect with their customer, to establish rapport. Take, for example, this equipment salesman. He usually speaks in very complete sentences.
It's been awfully hot lately, hasn't it? Imagine you'll be glad when that cold front moves in and cools things off. Hard to believe that winter's going to be here soon. Snow will be blowing and drifting as high as that mound over there.
You're sure right about that. All right. Excuse me, will you?
Sure.
But notice how his customer generally speaks in short, quick phrases.
Yeah, it's a scorcher, and yeah, we're running behind.
Now listen as this salesman shortens his statements in order to more closely match the abrupt pattern or rhythm of his customer's speech.
Notice you got two small loaders loading one truck.
Yeah, completion date's getting close.
Yeah, well, might take a look at those new 98s. Just came out.
I think we're doing all right.
Well, you might be surprised. See, 98 operates with one operator loading one truck.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, could cut back on time and overhead.
Oh?
Every one of us wants to feel a sense of belonging, of connecting. And matching or mirroring your customer's voice is yet another way of establishing a more solid connection with your customers, no matter what kind of selling you do. So the next time you begin a sales call, try keeping this in mind. At first, listen closely to the tone of voice, volume, rhythm, and speech rate of your customer. If you notice their speech is soft and slow, or loud and abrupt, then in order to become like them, adjust your overall speech to match your customers.
Selling in terms of these first two techniques, matching body language and voice, can be extremely powerful, not just in building trust and rapport very quickly, but also in minimizing and dissolving differences between the salesperson and the customer. But there's a third technique, matching moods and emotions. Every customer, every prospect that a salesperson has is in a mood or an emotional state. And the more skillfully the salesperson can match that mood or that emotion, the more quickly he can build trust, build rapport, dissolve resistance, minimize the differences between the customer and the salesperson, and more successfully and quickly complete that sale.
So the third way Dr. Boyne found top producers building trust and rapport is by matching their customer's mood. For instance, if your customer is businesslike, as this one on your right is, then to become like him, match his mood and become businesslike. Or if they're in a more social mood, like this customer on the left, then you share small talk. And if your customer is angry, then match that mood too. An average salesperson, like this one on your left, usually fails to match mood. He thinks a soothing tone of voice will calm down this angry customer.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, you can cancel that order if you can't keep your machines running right.
Sir, I'm really sorry you feel that way. I really am. We'll do everything we can to help. Okay?
But a top producer naturally raises his level of emotion to more closely match his customer's mood by matching his tone of voice, volume, and speech rate in a way that says, I understand you, and I'm just as concerned as you are.
Oh, and now what are you going to do about these breakdowns? You know, nobody gets paid if this place shuts down.
You're absolutely right. You can't afford breakdowns like this.
It's important for the salesperson to be as strong in his feelings as the customer. This shows he really does care to the same level of emotion or mood. The salesperson is not hostile, but shows he's deeply concerned about the well-being of his customer.
Do you realize what all this downtime's costing me? Not to mention the fine I'll be paying if the work isn't finished on time.
I understand it must be costing you a fortune, and we just can't put up with it anymore. Look, until we identify what's causing these breakdowns, I'm seeing to it personally that your situation is given top priority.
And to build a more solid connection, this salesman continues to match the customer's mood.
You know, I let you design this package because I thought you knew what you were doing. I'm beginning to think I was wrong.
You know, you have every reason to feel this way. We really haven't solved the overload and vibration problems. But, you know, I think I have a way that we can start solving this problem right now.
Well, what do you got in mind?
When the salesperson senses the customer is starting to calm down, he can lead him to a less hostile frame of mind.
Now, I'd have to check it out. But what if we can get our service manager or one of our top factory people out here first thing in the morning?
Well?
The salesman knows how to help dissolve anger and rebuild trust by first matching the customer's tone of voice, volume, and speech rate. And second, by matching the customer's mood or level of emotion. Remember, Matching mood says to a customer, I feel the same way you do, and it shows you care. The fourth technique top producers use is to make fairly obvious statements of fact, statements with which the customer cannot help but agree.
You said you want to keep at least $5,000 liquid until you close on your other home. Is that correct?
Yes.
Again, this is another way of saying we're alike. For instance, highly successful salespeople often use statements of fact in their opening remarks. This helps put the customer in a yes mode as soon as possible.
You probably hear this a lot, but you've got quite a collection of artwork in the lobby.
Yes, we do.
Top producers also use factual statements throughout the sale. This helps maintain agreement with the customer.
Now, you said you just moved here from Charlottesville, right?
Yes.
Even stating simple truisms can help establish agreement, especially when the salesperson shapes the truism to the customer's business.
You know, most of the computer chains I talk to today tell me they are facing some really tough times in the computer industry. You know what they're interested in today more than anything else? They're still interested in return on investment. They're still interested in profitability, and they are still interested in being high-tech.
In short, putting the customer in a yes mode by stating obvious facts as early as possible helps set the stage for major agreement, the kind of agreement that leads them to buy. The fifth way superior salespeople use NLSP is by matching the customer's objection. For instance, an average salesperson like this one on your right usually tries to fight a customer's objection head-on by arguing against the customer.
Look, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think insurance is the best investment I can make.
I can't agree with that, Mr. Jackson. And if you'll just give me a chance, I'll show you how upgrading your policy would really add to your profitability.
This type of response often causes a customer to dig in his heels all the harder.
I'm sorry. I'm just not interested.
But study after study shows that many times one of the best ways to overcome an objection is to agree with it. This lets customers know you respect their opinion, you're on their side, that you both agree on things, even when it comes to the objection.
As far as I'm concerned, life insurance is just a poor investment.
I couldn't agree more. Life insurance can be a poor investment, especially if you're looking at the initial investment. Would you agree?
Well, yes, I would.
This statement of agreement disarms the objection and helps regain rapport. It says, we see things the same way, and now the salesperson can work redirecting the objection.
Again, life insurance may not be a good investment, but it does have uses you may not be aware of. For example, you indicated earlier saving money is becoming more important to you. And insurance does act much like a savings account with additional benefits. Not only do you save money, but this particular policy will pay you prime interest rate plus. And another thing to consider is that your money can continue to earn on a tax-deferred basis.
And if the salesperson encounters resistance again, he or she will often repeat the objection, agreeing with it, and then redirect the customer to a more positive point of view.
Sure, I can see what you're trying to get at. But I still feel that insurance just isn't the best way to invest.
Again, I agree with you. There are investments that may be better. But I think you'll find with this insurance investment, you'll have profitability to the level you say you want. Let me show you what I mean.
Agreeing with an objection, repeating it, and redirecting the customer's viewpoint are quick ways of overcoming strong resistance because they help create an atmosphere of agreement, even when it comes to an objection. We now come to the sixth most fascinating and final NLSP technique, the last hidden advantage, reading your customer's mind by responding to eye movements. While reading someone's mind sounds like something a magician or fortune teller might do, it's actually very scientific and logical. Here's how it works. Our brain operates much like this videotape recorder. It not only records and plays back pictures and sounds, but also feelings. And in watching a customer's eyes, which are connected to the brain, we can often tell which of those three communication channels that person is tuned into at any moment. Here are some ways you can recognize the communication channel your customer is in. When someone is looking up, that person is probably seeing pictures. This means they're thinking and communicating